Ottawa looks to bounce back in front of a raucous home crowd. Kenny Albert, Joe Micheletti from Canadian Tire Center. Down to Joe with Senators captain Erik Karlsson.
Okay, Ken, thanks very much. Erik, you said after game one that wasn't a 60 minutes performance by your team. What needs to change in this one?
Exactly that. I think that we came out strong and we started the game strong, especially in the second period, but then in the third we got a little bit cautious. And it's easy, in games like this when it really matters. You don't want to be the guy that makes a mistake, but again, it's a game of mistakes and you can't be afraid of making them.
Your team is 0 for your last 5 games on the power play. You're playing against the #1 penalty-killing team in the league. What does your power play need to do to have success against them?
No, I think, again, we need to stay poised and we don't have to overthink stuff. Keep it simple. Again, we're going to have a good shot to beat Tuukka in the goal, and we got to make it tough for him to see it.
It's been well documented that you've been trying to play while you've been hurt. How's your health now compared to Wednesday night in game 1?
I slept great last night. Hopefully it's one of those things that gets better and better every day, and hopefully today will be better than last night.
Good luck. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Kenny?
Thanks, Joe. Senators and Bruins, game 2 coming up. But first, we send you to the NBC Sports Studio.
Welcome to the Honda NBC Sports Desk.
Hello, everyone. Liam McHugh alongside Mike Milbury and Keith Jones. We're counting you down to the Senators and the Bruins, but we have got you covered from now until pretty much the early AM hours. 4 games across 2 networks. On NBC, it's Boston at Ottawa. Then at 8 Eastern, the Hawks look to pull even with the Preds at 1 game apiece. On NBCSN at 7 Eastern, it's Game 2 from Washington, D.C. And following that, it's out to Anaheim. The Ducks will host the Flames. We begin with the Bruins. They took game 1 despite not having David Krejci, Torrey Krug, and Brandon Carlo. Then during the course of the game, they lose Colin Miller. So instead
And in the case of Charlie McAvoy, he's a puck-moving player. He concentrated on playing defense, which is, I think, a great strategy for him. He was much better than anybody gave him credit for at that end of the ice. Watch the one-on-one play here against a pretty good offensive player. Ryan, just a good poke check, and he finishes with a body check. He clearly wasn't afraid to block shots. You can see him line up. Good stance, good position, clears the puck easily, and this is a great play for me. He never turns to backward skating, keeps on going forward skating, and forces the puck carrier wide. The fear for me is that he'll start to think, hey, that was easy. I can do whatever I want. And he starts to overhandle the puck, try to make plays that he really shouldn't be making against a trapping team, and causes some turnovers. That's my concern.
Meanwhile, for Ottawa, the concern is scoring, finding the back. Since the trade deadline, they ranked 26th in the league in scoring. They managed just 1 goal in game 1. Any positives offensively?
That Bobby Ryan was their best player. That Bobby Ryan has had a really difficult season. Nothing has come easy for Bobby Ryan this year. He's been in Guy Boucher's doghouse for much of the year. There's Boucher in the ear of Bobby Ryan. Ryan responded the right way. Playoff-type hockey, give and goes, driving the net, stick on the ice, creating offensive opportunities. That's the game that Bobby Ryan can play. Didn't play it very frequently during the regular season, but had an outstanding performance and should be a much more confident player heading into this afternoon's game. You can see the excitement in his face there. He could be a dangerous guy for the Senators against the Bruins this afternoon.
On opening night, Boston went on the road. They took down game number 1. Up next, it is game 2 from Canada's capital city as the Senators look to even things up with the Bruins.
What a start to this hockey game.
welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Hockey League.
Today in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
And the Bruins win game one.
History says this is when you make your mark.
Bobby Ryan cuts in, scores! Bobby Ryan!
Despite Bobby Ryan's highlight reel goal and a shotless second period,
For Toronto out top, Rushon score! We're tied at 1.
Boston's best player completed their third period comeback.
Score! Brad Marchand with a follow-up chance gives the Bruins the lead.
Brad Marchand left the Senators stunned. Can they bounce back today? It's game 2 next. Welcome to the Stanley Cup playoffs presented by Geico from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Game 2, Ottawa Senators, Boston Bruins. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the NHL on NBC. Kenny Albert with Joe Micheletti inside the glass. The Bruins with 2 goals in the third period on Wednesday night to win Game 1 over the Senators 2-1. Joe, what do you look for this afternoon in Game 2?
Well, for Ottawa, you've got to look to their captain and their best player. That's Erik Karlsson. Now, he's one of the elite skaters in the hockey, but he's been hampered with a bad foot injury, so he hasn't been as effective as he's been in the past. One of the great skaters that just can't quite get there as much as he did before. As his health improves, so does the fate of the Senators. And meanwhile, for Boston, Brad Marchand has had an MVP-type season. When they've needed someone to step up and get it done, it's been him. Just as in Game 1, under 3 minutes to play, he scores the game winner.
Game 2 coming up. Brad Marchand with the Game 1 game winner. A pregame selfie prior to Game 2. Bruins, Senators, next. to you by Lexus. Experience amazing. By Verizon. Not just unlimited, Verizon Unlimited. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by Coors Light. Whatever your mountain, climb on. Game 2 from Ottawa. Coming up next.
Get us some more.